Okay, so pre-lockdown, we were thinking about what procedures we needed to have in place prior to leaving site, i.e. Locking down equipment, securing sites, and then leaving. During the lockdown, it was everybody at home, isolated as per the government's requirements. However, we moved our office equipment to our home environment where we could work remotely. And then post-lockdown, there was the ramping up of how we were to work under the level 3 protocols and requirements for our clients and the government restrictions and requirements and protocols.
And then during lockdown, we've got a thing called WhatsApp, and we're on that for this whole, there's about 2 groups now that are, one's the banter group and one's the official Taggart group, because it was getting a bit funny in the official Taggart group, so they're like, oh, we better separate this a wee bit.
When we went into lockdown, a lot of working behind the scenes, especially putting into place for things when we come out of lockdown. After lockdown, we came back and we went straight back into work, but with a full procedure for each level.
Pre-lockdown, when we were in level 3, I guess we've just had put into place already the guys' actual bubbles on site, so there was no more than 5 in a bubble. There was social distancing. We had all the hygiene factors in place, and things were really going really well. Coming back into level 3, we obviously had those protocols were already in place, so it was almost business as usual in level 3.
Pre-lockdown, we didn't actually have a lot of notice about what we were in for, but we reacted pretty quickly and put some measures in place to, firstly, to make sure that the business could keep functioning, and we managed to do that in the nick of time. Once we got into lockdown, we quickly realised that communication was going to be the key. Once we got it back onto site, we're using like a pod system where a maximum of 5 people could be in a pod. We couldn't afford the whole site to go down if everybody was in contact with each other.
So during lockdown, it was, to be honest, a little lonely being on my own, but saying that, I kept myself busy. It was a wee bit of a shock to the system, but because I didn't think we were going to go there, to be honest. I thought, yeah, we'll be right. You know, it's New Zealand, we're tough buggers.
Probably the hardest part of all was actually not knowing what the outcome was going to be. 2 weeks in, it was, the cases were going up, things weren't looking great. Were we going to have a job? What was going to happen? So your mind starts to wander. But luckily, we've come back and everything's great.
For me personally, in level 4 was really busy. I had, I'm a solo parent, so I had 3 boys at home, 2 from uni and 1 high schooler at home. It was a busy household, and the boys did a lot of the cooking and let me be in the office getting things done.
For me personally, I thought it was going to be a great opportunity to get a whole lot of work done around home and put my feet up, but it was completely the opposite. Work became extremely busy, and I probably spent more hours working at work from home than I would in a normal working week. I guess just given that normally I don't have a laptop at home, because it was there, I would, even on the weekends, I'd open it up and suddenly you find yourself doing 2 or 3 hours work.
A friend of mine lives down in the Lilburn Valley and was tied up with the Hereford conference, and he's very remote New Zealand, and became or tested positive for COVID-19, and so that was a learning that not everybody's immune and can be hidden away from it.
The social distancing one was quite a difficult one with certain people on sites, because a lot of them didn't seem to grasp that it could spread quite easy, and so there was just some moments on site where we had to go, hey bro, settle down, back up a wee bit, you're a bit close. Taggarts were, this is the new normal, this is what we've got to run with, these are the steps in place so we can kind of make it all more efficient, but also keep everyone safe, and because we don't want to go back into level 4 again.
I think the biggest health and safety lessons learnt was we were so used to maybe not washing our hands. We were used to coming to work if we were ill. We were doing things that we thought were fine, we were pushing through. And I think what COVID's taught us was that if you're ill, you couldn't come to work. It would be potentially devastating.
Health and safety, it was really just the encouragement to keep up the usual standard of health and safety on site, so as well as having COVID in behind. So just to slow things down really was one of the main things.
I guess it was just an awareness of what the potential for a virus can do to your workforce if somebody does come down with such a disease. So yeah, I guess it is just that personal hygiene, sanitising.
The new normal, I guess it's an increased awareness around personal hygiene. That seems to be the ongoing trend at the moment out on site, and contact tracing, using the technology to trace your movements and be able to report back effectively.
So the new normal is basically the same as the old stuff, to be honest, but the only real massive difference is the, I guess, being a bit more aware of everyone around you and making sure you use your own pen, sort of thing like that. Kind of makes life a bit easier because you've just got your processes now that are definitely in place, and this is the way you have to go. So it's just getting used to that, and then once we do, it should be like normal again.
The new normal is really, for us in construction, is back to how it was with the additional hygiene added in. Maybe there is some better housekeeping going on, but I really feel that we are back to normal for us.
If anything ever happened again, if we had to all of a sudden go into lockdown, I think it would be really quick and swift. I think we've learnt really good lessons. We weren't super prepared for it, but I think now we really are.
Just having the ability to be able to work in relative isolation, utilising the technology to do those work meetings via Zoom, etc., and just utilising the technology to work apart and still be effective. And also just creating paperless environments where you're reducing the amount of people handling the same piece of paper and just using the technology in that aspect to do things electronically, sign invoices off, etc., etc.
We have learnt a lot being a small family business and putting people at home, working from home. We're definitely in the process of changing some of our systems for the accounting system. The whole lot is being re-looked at to make it simpler if we ever do have to go and work from home again.
Yeah, so future-proofing going forward for us is pretty much, I think we would do the same, but as we did when we went into lockdown, but we are better prepared now. I guess we know what it looks like to go into lockdown, and we have measures in place to react a lot more quickly.
I guess it's put the country in a better position because everybody wants to come home now and live here. Personally, able to enjoy the country. I took a trip to Fiordland and it was actually quite peaceful on the roads and got to enjoy the country for ourselves, to be fair. From a work perspective, just reducing the requirements to potentially having to fly to Auckland for those 2-hour meetings to then fly back again. Do we need to waste all that money on that or impact the environment in that aspect in regards to using fuels and the like for air travel, etc.?
I guess everyone's become a bit more closer on site because, like, when we came out of lockdown, we're all our own bubbles. So even on site, that was your bubble, like extended bubbles, shall we say. So we're all gotten a bit nicer, a bit more closer together as the guys.
I think what I've found to be really good that's come out of it, it's brought everyone closer together. Not so much in a physical sense, but We all talk to each other a lot more. Communication is really open.
Yeah, for us, going into lockdown, it certainly did show up the holes that we have or had. And it is a great opportunity to take some learnings away from that and put measures in place to make the business better through what we've seen come to the surface.
Definitely. The resilience of the staff, we underestimate that. That there's so much that when there is a crisis that they all pull together so well, and to have calls every day saying, is there anything you need me to do? Just that kindness of the staff, and the gold are our staff.